So one of the most difficult parts when it comes down to vlogging, in my humble opinion, or something that I personally am struggling a lot, is lighting. You see, when I'm vlogging, I am more occupied with where I'm putting the camera, what I'm filming, how many people are around, how good is the sound and stuff like that. And as I said, the most important part is where to place the camera. And sometimes, be it with this Fuji X-M5 or with the DJI Pocket 3, it's more important for me to place the camera on a stable surface than kind of thinking about the lighting. And that is, given the nature of vlogs in a, let's say, documentary style approach and in an impromptu style approach where you just place the camera and kind of document your thoughts or your day. For me, these vlogs are all about documenting my thoughts with potentially or hopefully something that I can give to you in a teachable moment. So for me, placing the camera wherever I am on a stable surface is the most important, and therefore lighting is so difficult. And that is something where I'm still struggling to find a good balance. I am not the best in terms of lighting, but I know the theory, and with my main channel videos I know where to place the lights. But in this documentary vlog style, it's not as easy to kind of think about, okay, here is a big light, so the light comes here. It would be better if I would place the camera a little bit over to this side, so I film the shadow side of my face, or even better, because then I would have a blown out window like you can see here. If I put it a little bit to that side, to have the big light source hitting my face and illuminating everything and making sure nothing is blown out, would be a better, let's say, not documentary style, but a better way to expose me so you can see everything and nothing is blown out. But it would be a very flat light and not as flattering or not as cool. Putting the light over here, again, would film into the shadow side and a little bit into this light. From an air quote cinematic standpoint, you want to film into the shadow side, but then I would have a blown out window. So long story short, if I had the time to kind of set up this picture and create this framing and create the lighting, this would look much better, but then it wouldn't be a vlog. And for me, a vlog is an impromptu, place the camera, film a documentary style and just get out the thoughts that I'm having in my brain. And for me, it's so difficult to find a balance. And with a lot of my vlogs, I sometimes am sitting on my computer and kind of preparing the edit, and I'm thinking, oh, the lighting is terrible. I have blown out highlight over here, or it's too dark and stuff like that. So that is something that I really am struggling to kind of get right, and that is something that I want to do better in the future, but I don't know how yet. Especially with the DJI Pocket, you really have to think about the lighting, because if it's too dark and you kind of brighten it up, then it gets very noisy. Or if it's too bright and you have like blown out highlights, you cannot recover them. With this Fuji X-M5, it is a little bit easier to kind of recover highlights or shadows. But with the DJI Pocket 3, it is really important, especially for all of you who also have an action camera, to think about lighting and not underexpose or overexpose the frame. Because especially with overexposing, it is fairly noticeable, and overexposing is looking very ugly because it's just like this bright white area where nothing is. With underexposing, when you lift up the image, I don't mind noisy footage, because in best case scenario, it's looking like noise, but in worst case scenario, it's okay, you see. Obviously, if you overdo it, it's not great, but yeah, thinking about lighting isn't easy when you're vlogging. But a very good rule of thumb to kind of help you out and to kind of give you my recommendation, and also to kind of talk to myself, to remind myself, is try to kind of sculpt your image in a way that you not only have light but also shadows. Again, I have a bright light source here. I could just move over here and have the camera facing me, but that would be a very flat image. And there is a saying, especially with sun, don't let the sun or this big thing go behind you. So never film with the sun behind you and let the sun hit your subject that you want to photograph or film, because it will be a very flat image. So what you want to do is, usually I love shooting into the light, but with specific cameras that is very difficult. If you have an action camera, it will create such a high dynamic of bright sun and shadow phase that it will be very difficult to make it look really cool. What you rather want to do is to kind of sculpt light and shadows. So when the sun is over here, again, you don't want to have it behind you, because if it shines directly into your lens, your camera will be a little bit confused, exposed for the sun, so it won't kind of blow out, but will make you very dark. So what you want to do is, if the sun, let me rephrase that. I'm obviously meant if the sun is behind the camera, it will shine into the lens and onto your face and make, no, hold on. Sorry. I'm now confusing. So you don't want the sun behind the camera. So the sentence, don't let the sun be behind you, means if you are the camera operator. So you don't want the sun be behind the camera because it shines on you and makes you very flat. Also the other way around. If the sun is behind, let's rephrase it. If the sun's behind your subject, then it shines into your lens. Your camera thinks, oh, that is the brightest source. It makes the sun, lowers down the exposure of the sun and makes your subject very dark. So you need to find a balance point. And again, the sentence is, don't let the sun get behind your camera. I think that is a little bit easier to understand, especially in the terms of vlogging, because if the sun is behind the camera, it illuminates your subject, or in that vlogging case, yourself, and makes you very flat. And then you, as you see here, you don't have any shadows. Excuse me. So you want the light source to be 45 degrees to your subject, to have Rembrandt lighting. So Rembrandt lighting means if you have a triangle underneath your eyes, or you want it to the side to have really dramatic shadow where only this side is illuminated but this side is dark. That is also possible, but I think the most flattering way is if your light source is in a 45-degree angle. I also have like a light over here. This is what's so orange, plus this bright side. You can also see it here in the shadow, potentially a little bit, that there is a light over here that is making me a little bit more orange. But yeah, you kind of want to have, or kind of want to think about where the light is, and that's definitely something I want to kind of incorporate in my videos as well. Also, there is this trick of, I like to use a fist, but some people like to use a hand where you kind of cup your hand and you can kind of see how the shadow falls in your hand, to kind of, yeah, think about, okay, what is my face looking like? So if I go like that, everything here is really illuminated. If I go a little bit over, like 45 degree, okay, I can see a little bit of shadow in my palm. Go a little bit over, oh, okay, this is all dark now and this is bright. But you can also do it with a fist, kind of mimicking the shape of your head a little bit, like a rounded shape, right? So Okay, there's shadow, okay, I go here, oh, everything is illuminated, looks a little bit flat, let's go a little bit over here, okay, this looks a little bit better. That is also a way you can do. Again, when you're vlogging and you're looking for a stable surface where to place the camera, that is obviously not always possible, but still something to keep very, in your mind and to have a conscious approach to it. All right, so that was my short little tip about lighting when it comes down to vlogging. Maybe that helped a little bit. If you want to see a different, or maybe check out the playlist about my how to start vlogging, this little tutorial playlist. Check it out check it out up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. Maybe like and hype this video, that always helps a lot. And help me, if you want, help me to get to 2,000 subscribers by clicking the subscribe button up here. And then we see each other tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, and until tomorrow.